So I'm 22 years old. Yes! I grew up in Brooklyn, surrounded by thousands of people. Alone has never been my default state. My appetites are laser focused on food, adventure, and sex, not necessarily in that order. 1 year ago, I joined the Peace Corps. Owing to my extensive agricultural background growing up in Brooklyn, I'm teaching farming to people who had farmed for 10,000 years. For the last 12 months, I've lived in a one-room mud hut in a remote village in Benin, West Africa. Now, the Peace Corps made me fluent in French, spoken by politicians in the capital. But the villagers I see daily only speak Aja. While they're quite friendly, I feel alone. I'm separated from any cultural or social intercourse, and I'm also denied any meaningful conversation. And as a healthy 22-year-old, I'm also denied both meaningful and meaningless sex. The celibacy clock is currently at 525,800 minutes. To remedy this situation, I decide to take a week off, and I go to the Capitol and I borrow a friend's car because I'm going to embark on an 11-hour road trip to visit another volunteer who's stationed in Ouagadougou, just southwest of Bobo Dioulasso, in Upper Volta. Now, I barely know this woman, but hope springs eternal. I'm hoping she understands my language, if you know what I mean. Nudge, nudge, say no more, because I fashion myself a cunning linguist. My sustenance for this sojourn is the West African equivalent of an Italian hero. It's a wild boar meat, peppers, onions, slathered with lots of mustard on a French baguette. I'm on this road trip, I'm halfway there, I'm on a dirt road, it's dark. I decide to take out the first half of my sandwich using my lap as a table. As I'm taking my first bite, I spot an 8-foot-long green mamba snake that's slithering across the road. I brake and swerve, avoiding the snake at the expense of my sandwich as it explodes from my lap, and in slow motion, the meat and the pepper and the onions, and particularly the mustard, escape in all directions, and my hands and arms are whirling like a dervish, trying to contain the damage, and I fail miserably, and the detritus avalanches down my shirt, and its juiciness finds rest in my crotch. Fortunately, I have the second half of my sandwich still safely in my pocket. I need to pee, so it's a perfect time for a pee break, so I pull over, and I walk 20 feet into the jungle on my right. Now, I always like peeing in the woods. It's like a Zen Buddhist experience for me. It's like a be here now translated to a pee here now. So as I'm directing my stream of urine very strategically onto a 3-foot-high termite mound, I shift my weight and a twig breaks under my left foot. Now the jungle always whispers and sighs and crackles, and all of a sudden it was way too still. I zipped up my fly, and as my eyes moved from the remnants of my sandwich-saturated crotch, I look up, and there's a troop of 20-plus baboons in a semicircle around me. I flash on the primordial origins of our species, and I can hear David Attenborough whispering, "This New Yorker is frozen, apparently not nearly as alone as he had imagined." The baboons also seem to be focusing on the remnants of my sandwich-saturated crotch, and I'm imagining being devoured by hordes of salivating baboons. Heart heart-chilling fear. I look up and the baboons are hunched over but erect. They have long dog-like snouts and they have close-set eyes. And I'm guessing they're about 4 feet tall, maybe 100 pounds. And they have sharp canine teeth. So I'm thinking they're 3 seconds removed from Homer Simpson at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The lead baboon steps forward, he's in the middle, and he pounds his chest and stares directly at me. And he looks like a cross between the younger Stallone Rambo and the older Stallone Rocky. And I feel as small as Marcel Lachelle. I don't know if I should freeze or flee or make, big helicopter windmill motions or loud guttural intestinal sounds. I remember I have the second half of my sandwich still in my pocket. With an abundance of caution, I carefully reach into my pocket and slowly I unwrap it and I place the unwrapped sandwich as a peace offering on the ground. And then I slowly edge backwards. And after a very long 10 seconds, I'm safely back in my car. I'm shaking, but in shock. I get myself together, and I head on to Ouagadougou. Unfortunately, my woman friend, unlike the baboons, was less interested in my sandwich-saturated crotch. And we decided to just be friends. But we got to tell each other all the amazing experiences that we had collected alone for a year. In Africa, I learned that amazing stories have no taste or flavor unless they are seen, unless they are shared. More than sex, more than adventure, more than food, what we all crave is to be seen. But that clock that keeps ticking, the celibacy clock, is now up to 535,800 minutes. Thank you.